And I am going to record this morning just in case. I can post this one later. So go ahead and move to your mats and go ahead and begin to move to your back or lie down in that resting position. Arms at your side, your heels a little bit wider than your hips. Let your toes just flop open. You can kind of move your shoulders around so your spine is on the back, feeling your spine on the mat as much as possible. And just breathe and close your eyes. And you can set an intention for your practice, something that you want to think about, why you're here today, possibly thinking about something positive in the world, thinking about sending something out to a person. Just think about why you're here today. Maybe it's just that you need the time on this mat for yourself. And just take a moment to breathe. Bring one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart. Make sure your shoulders are totally relaxed down into the mat. And after your next exhale, and you can use that hand on your belly to gently help you get all of the air out of your lungs. Seal your lips and slowly inhale, perhaps to the count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And when you get to the top of the breath, this time to hold it for just a moment, if you can. Open your mouth and exhale all of that air out like you're fogging up a mirror. When you get to the bottom of your exhale, pause for a moment. And then we'll inhale. And you can pick a number for yourself, whether it's 3 or 4, and you can decide to skip the numbers and just estimate. But breathe in slowly, all the way up through your belly button, your chest. Imagine that you're breathing to the top of your head. And hold your breath for a moment. And when you're ready, open your mouth and sigh it out. When you get to the bottom of your breath, hold it for a moment. Sealing your lips, inhale. This time, keep your lips sealed and breathe out through your nose, keeping that growling sound. When you get to the bottom of your breath, you can count to that number that you've chosen. And then you can inhale when you're ready. And we'll take a few rounds of this square breathing on your own. Inhaling slowly and holding, and then exhaling slowly and holding, and then inhaling. Take a few rounds of this square breathing. Remember, this kind of breathing can slow down your central nervous system. It actually can slow down your heart rate and help you to release anxiety and relax. And you can come back to this at any time that you need it. On your next full cycle, go ahead and come back to your natural breathing. You can move your arms back to your side and you can start to gently wiggle your fingers and toes. And make sure you are breathing in and out through your nose, keeping your lips sealed. You can go ahead and take a good morning stretch overhead, pointing your toes and reaching your arms, palms facing each other. And then when you exhale, just relax back down into the mat. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, relax. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, relax. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, this time bringing your knees into your chest, and you can roll around on your back. Gently on your next inhale, send your left leg down to the mat, and you can bring your right knee in. If you want a little bit more challenge, you can hover that left heel off the mat. So you can either leave it on the mat or you can hover it up. And squeeze that, squeeze your knee towards your right armpit. And on the exhale, relax down into the mat. Inhale and squeeze. Exhale and relax. Take your right hand on your right knee, your left hand can go down to the mat for balance and draw big circles up on the ceiling. And then take it in the opposite direction. And then squeeze your knee back in, this time towards your chest. And then you can release, sending your right leg down to meet your left. Inhale and bring your right leg in. Exhaling, relaxing. Inhale, pulling your left shoulder towards your left armpit. Exhaling, letting it relax. Again, you can hover that right heel if you want a little bit more challenge, or you can leave your heel on the mat. Inhale, pull. Exhale, relax. Inhale, pull. Exhale, relax. And then take your left hand on your left knee and draw some of those circles, waking up your hip this morning, sending blood flow to your hip. And then rotate in the opposite direction. Send your right down to meet your left. And then on the inhale, bring them both back up and give yourself a squeeze. And then let's rotate our ankles around in circles, both in the same direction. And then take them in the opposite direction. We're going to meet in standing, however you'd like to get there. If you'd like to rock on your spine, you can. You can put your hands on the back of your thighs and you can gently rock back and forth. You take a few of these rocks on your spine, and we will meet in standing. With your legs about hip width distance apart, inhale and take a nice stretch up, grabbing for your left wrist with your right. Take a nice bend to the right on the exhale, and inhale and come back to center. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left. Inhale. And with a good bend in your knees, go ahead and nosedive all the way down. Let your belly rest on the tops of your thighs. You can rest your hands on the ground. You can hold on to something if you need to. If it works in your body, grab for opposite elbows and just let your neck and head and shoulders go. Don't hold on to anything. Just let your head totally go. You can work on gently straightening your legs if you want, or you can stay like this. You might want to gently sway side to side, slowly. Don't forget to breathe. Keep breathing in and out your natural breath through your nose. Go ahead, one vertebrae at a time. Coming back up to standing, your head will be the last thing to come up. You can go ahead and take another big stretch. And we will meet in tabletop with your hands underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips, and we'll take a few cats and cows. So on the inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze, lift your bottom. On the exhale, arch like that scared cat. You might want to come up on your fingertips. Inhale, drop. Exhale, arch. Inhale, up and look up. Exhale, cat. You can come meet back in tabletop and look over your right shoulder and move your right hip to the right. Come back through center and do the same thing on the other side. Look over your left shoulder, look at your left hip. Come back through center. And take a few more stretches here. At this point, you can do some more cats and cows. If downward dog and flowing is in your practice, you may do that. You can tuck your toes, send your hips up, walk your feet around. So whatever works for you. You can continue doing cats and cows. You can wag your dog, as we said, and just do a few stretches before we meet if you need to. Do some head circles around, whatever feels good in your body for a few moments before our first yin pose. And we will meet sitting on the mat. And I think this morning we'll just do our simple forward fold to begin. So with your legs just in front of you, whatever works. If your legs are not meeting the ground, feel free to put some pillows under your knees, whatever to take some pressure off. And we will work on that. I think I hope that you all can still hear me. I've just got a ding on my, there. So anyway, go ahead and lift up and we will gently forward, fold forward. You can put pillows here to rest on if you like. You can, I'm just going to let my head hang, but if you want to put pillows to lean on, if you have pillows underneath your knees, feel free to use props at any time in any of these poses. And we're just going to lean forward.
make sure that you're not clenching. Make sure that you are folding forward and just relaxing. You might find yourself falling a little bit more deeply into the pose. A little bit, you'll find yourself sinking a little closer to the ground. And breathe. Gently come up one vertebrae at a time, and we will come down to our backs. And then bring your heels up as close to your bottom as you can. You might be able to touch your heels with your fingertips. And then just raise your hips up off the ground for a counter stretch, stretching our backs the other way. You can come up on your shoulders a little bit and see how high you can get your hips up. Promise we're not holding this one for a long time. This is bridge pose. And you can come back down. And then challenge yourself. Take a deep breath in and inhale. And see how high you can bring your hips up off the ground here. And then gently come back down. If you have that wall handy, we're going to do figure 4 next to open up and get the blood circulating in our hips. Again, you can practice this on the floor by using your hands, but if you have a wall, it works really nicely. So get your hips as close to the wall And then come on up where you have your legs up the wall. And then we will cross our right leg over our left. Again, if you're in the middle of the floor, you can do the same thing and put your hand through and hold on. And you can gently walk your foot down so that you have a nice stretch here and you can just relax. Again, if you're in the middle of the room, you don't have a wall handy, just feel like this, holding that. So go ahead then and just relax. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed. Make sure your neck and head is relaxed. Take the tongue off the top of your roof, the tongue off the roof of your mouth, and relax your eyes, relax your toes. Make sure you're not clenching anywhere. Let your shoulders go, let your hips go, let your knees go, and let gravity just help you with that stretch. And you might find your foot walking a little bit further down. If you're in the middle of the room, you might find that squeeze getting a little bit more. And go ahead and breathe and relax. ahead and gently unwind. If you're at the wall, you can send both of your legs up the wall. If you're on the floor, you can take a gentle stretch. This time we'll take our left leg over our right, or the opposite one, and start walking that right leg down the wall. Or if you're on the floor, of course, you have your hands or that keyhole and you're holding on. And go ahead and let everything melt into the ground and relax. Don't forget to breathe and make sure that you're not clenching anything. Go ahead and gently unwind. If you're at the wall, you can take a moment to stretch with your legs up the wall. If you are on the floor, you can stretch. If you're at the wall, you can gently turn or a yogi fetal position. And we will meet back on our mat, on our backs. So go ahead and come down to your back. And scoot your hips a little bit over to the left of the mat, and then start to walk your feet over to the right corner. And we'll move our bodies up over to the left, and you can have your hands up and over and stretch, or you might put them in a box format, whatever works. If you're having any pain in your neck and shoulders, you put your arms in any position that you like. And we're making this nice C position. This is affectionately known as banana asana because we're in the shape of a banana here. If you need a little extra stretch, you can take that right leg up and over and stretch in that way. And just relax into the mat. Your left shoulder should still be on the mat. So if it's popping up, just walk it out a little bit, back it out a little bit. And breathe. Gently unwind and come back to center. And we're going to repeat that on the other side. So go ahead and move your hips a little bit to the right of the mat and start to walk your feet over to the left. And start to walk, to move your head and shoulders up to the top of the other side of your mat. Again, you can stretch with your arms over, holding, clasping your hands, or you can grab for opposite elbows, bringing your right bust up to your right ear. And this, remember, your right shoulder should stay on the mat. If it's popping up, just scoot back. This side should feel different. You're getting a good stretch on your right side. Again, if you want an extra stretch, or if it feels better, you can take your right leg up and over your left, or not, whatever works in your body, and try to relax into the mat. Gently unwind and come back to center. It might feel good to gently bring your knees in and roll on your lower spine a little bit. We're going to come back up on the mat and come back up through tabletop. And then put your knees together and move back towards your heels. If you don't reach your heels, your feet are, tops of your feet are on the mat, you can put a pillow here. And we're going to practice child's pose, simple child's pose here. And this will stretch the tops of our back. It'll stretch our whole spine. And so taking your arms out, slowly come down. And if you don't come down very far, don't worry, get some pillows, put some pillows here. If your head does come all the way down to the mat, that's fine too. If not, use a pillow. You don't want to be hanging in the air. And you have a choice here. You can leave your arms outstretched. This will give you a good stretch in your shoulders. Or you can decide to put your hands, palms face up by your feet and just relax in this way. You can tuck your head in so that your chin is either touching your chest or it's moving towards your chest. Or you can have your hands out, your arms out, relaxing into the ground. And so you feel a good stretch in your lower spine, all the way up through your shoulders here. This is a pose you can always come to in yoga to just stop and breathe for a little bit. It's called child's pose, balasana. Make sure you're breathing, and if your mind starts to wander, come back to your breath. Concentrate on that air coming in and out of your nose. And see if you can just relax. Make sure you're not clenching anything, and just relax into the ground. We come back up and through tabletop. And while we're here, tuck your toes and come back onto your toes. And if you don't, you might just be like this. If you can sit back down onto your heels, stretching the tops of your feet. You can always use a pillow. Just stretch here for a moment. This is really good for your feet, especially if you've been somewhere where you have to wear shoes all day. And then come forward and gently put your feet on the tops of your feet down, and we'll come back and you can sit down on your feet if you can. And if you can continue to walk your hands back, popping your knees up and stretching the tops of your feet. Go ahead with your toes touching and bring your knees wide. We'll take a few moments in wide-legged child's pose. This will stretch your hips. Your hips should be good and open from the pigeon that we did at the wall earlier. And just come forward. And you can put your arms any way that's comfortable. You might use a pillow. And just come forward and relax here for a few moments. Ahead and let's come on up and we'll move back towards our backs. Bringing your knees in towards your chests and your arms out wide. You have your palms up or down, whichever is more comfortable for your arms. Take your knees toward the right. And if they don't meet the ground, put a pillow here. You don't want them hanging out. And if you need a little bit more of a stretch, you can twist that right. You can take that left leg up over your right cross leg, and you can come down in that way. Your left shoulder should stay on the ground. So if it's popping up, make sure you put a pillow underneath here. So you're getting a good stretch in your left side. This is great for your digestive system. And just relax and breathe here. Oh, I forgot to say, go ahead, and if it works in your neck and shoulders, turn your head and look at your left hand. So your head is going in the opposite direction. So you're getting a good twist in your neck, head, and shoulders is here as well. Go ahead and unwind back to center. And we're going to repeat that on the other side. So bringing your knees in, go ahead and slowly start to drop them to the left side. Again, use your pillows if needed. You can cross your right leg up over your left if you need an extra stretch, making sure that your right shoulder is still down on the ground. And once your legs are there, you can go ahead and turn your head, if it works in your neck, head, and shoulders, and look at your right hand. And you should feel a good stretch in your right side. This is the pose to come back to if you're having digestive issues. This helps to massage all of those internal organs and your intestines and all of those things in there to make sure that they are functioning correctly. Make sure you're totally relaxing, that you're not clenching anything. Let your shoulders relax, let your hips relax, let everything go. Gently unwind back to center and take some stretches, anything that your body craves. Of course, a really good one always at this time is to, come up with your knees and you can roll on your back. Happy baby is always great with your legs, your knees going towards your armpits, your feet like you're walking on the ceiling with your knees bent. You can grab for your ankles, you can grab for your feet and gently roll. It might feel good to gently stretch each leg straight. Just get anything out that needs to be stretched before we meet in final Shavasana. If you'd like to go back to the wall and put your legs up the wall, that's fine. Or you can just end the way we began, going ahead and resting your body with your everything relaxing, with your heels, with your feet about a little bit wider than hip width distance. Let your toes relax, close your eyes. Let your jaw relax, let your neck relax, let your chest relax, your shoulders, your arms, your thighs, your knees, your feet. Just let everything, let all of your muscles go, and close your eyes and breathe in and out through your nose. Go ahead and gently move to your side to that yogi fetal position with your head resting. And when you're ready, you can come up to a seated position. And I just want to thank you so much for practicing with me this morning. And I'll say Om Shanti, which is peace to all living creatures. And I also want to think about all of those who we have loved in our lives who are not with us today on the earth, and think about them as well too. And also to all living creatures, we hope that everyone is well today. We'll think about our pets, our friends, and all of those creatures that are special to us today. So I bow to you, Om Shanti. Thank you so much for practicing today with me.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Let's stop the recording.